All right, so to get started today, we're going to work on several little things. And here's a really good picture of what I'm going to try to make today. Now, that's not really showing the entire tree, but what that is it's a candy cane tree. And it looks like the tree trunk is some sort of a clear hose. And then it's got all these little candy canes coming out from it. And let me see if I can find another picture. I'm going to kind of just quickly try to do stuff because I feel like I talk too much and I hate talking so much. But back here, you can kind of see that again, kind of see more of it. And so anyways, what I'm going to do, oh wait, here's another really good close up of the candy cane trees. And it looks just like a clear tube with like colored tape. Oh wait, I don't know why it got so bright, but it looks like they've used colored tape to go around it to make the stripes. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I found these little candy canes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some acetone to rub those off, to clean those off. And then I've got this little tape. These are little rolls of tape in all these different colors that I'm going to use to make the stripes. And this is actually tape that you use on fingernail art. So that's what that is. It's just nail art tape. And so I'm going to wipe these off real quick. And then we'll start wrapping these in different colors to try to get the look that this has. And then I've got to try to figure out what I'm going to use for the trunk. I'm thinking like a clear straw might work, but I don't know if I have one. So I'm just going to have to see what I got. All right, so I've got that in here, and you actually want to do this quick. I shouldn't have put them all in here at once. I'm going to take these out actually, because that acetone will eat plastic if you soak it in. If you soak plastic in acetone, it will actually start to eat it, which I think that's what's happening here. Uh-oh, I might need to go rinse these off real quick. Oh my gosh, see how they're sticking? All right, I'm going to go rinse them off. All right, so that didn't go well. We'll come back to that in a little bit because I kind of messed those up and I will have to get the stuff to make more. And between now and the time I go putting this video together and posting the video, I'll have been to the store and got the stuff to do that. But since, that kind of went downhill, we're just going to move on to the next part of the video. Now, in the little diorama, I've got red and white mushrooms, but as you can see, they also have these really big yellow polka dotted mushrooms in the background here. And then here you can see one. And what I tried to do is I tried to make my own mushrooms out of clay. I just pressed them into a little glass bowl, and this was gonna be the mushroom until I found, which I kind of like the shape of that. That looks really good. I mean, it looks exactly like that, but I'm trying to decide if I want to paint those and use them, or if I just want to use these mushrooms here. And if I do use this, I'm going to paint them. But I just thought these are already made, and it would just be easier to just use these because they look pretty good too. These are actually from the 70s, and they're just these little plastic decorative mushrooms. And I think I'm just going to use them instead of finishing these that I started. I don't really like the flat top on them actually. They're okay, but I might use that for something later in another project. I'm just going to scrap those and use these plastic ones. So I'm going to start by cutting these apart. Okay, so I got that done, and I'm actually just going to use two just because of the space on my board. But on this one, I've drilled 5 little holes because later we're going to make some suckers out of UV resin. And I'm just going to stick them in here like this. Of course, their sticks won't be that long, but that's going to be for the suckers to go in, which I didn't notice until I was looking at pictures that there was a mushroom with like suckers sticking out of it. So that was kind of weird that I had never noticed it before. I don't know if I ever noticed it in the movie or not. If I did, I just wasn't thinking about it. But anyway, I'm going to paint these yellow and put some green polka dots on them. I'm just going to probably paint them with acrylic paint. And I did sand them a little bit, hoping that the paint will stick a little bit better. But let me paint those up, and I'm going to stick them on the board. And there's a couple things I need to do, but I need to get the diorama in here to get it to going. Okay, so back here I've got my mushrooms drying. I've got them on some sticks stuck into a piece of styrofoam, and I'm gonna let those dry. I just did sort of a base color on those so that it'll, be easier to paint. So for the board, this is just on a piece of plywood, and I went out and I bought these little rubber pads that you, I guess, put on the bottom of furniture to keep your furniture from scratching your floor. I'm just going to glue them to the bottom so when I'm displaying this on a table or something, it won't, scratch the table. And then for this edge, I thought I was going to paint it, but I thought what would look a little bit better is to just trim it out. So I went to a fabric shop and got this pretty chocolate brown trim stuff, and I'm just going to glue that around the edge because I just thought that would be pretty, and I like that chocolate brown color. It just kind of goes with the theme. So I'm going to glue that on there, and that'll just really cap it off and finish it up. But let me see, the other thing I'm wanting to do, hopefully get that candy cane tree done. And there's a couple flowers, like I don't know what they really are, but I'll show those, and we'll make those in this video. And then we're also going to jump over here to the little Oompa Loompa area, and there's something I'm really anxious to get done, so we're going to also work on that. So I got that done. I got the trim on, I got the little pads on the bottom, and I went ahead and glued these two mushrooms in place, and I will paint them now that they're standing up. I just thought that'd make it easier. And for those little flowers, I'm going to try to post a picture here. So I'm telling myself, please remember to post that picture. Um, Not that that's a real good reminder unless I go back watching this video, but for those little flowers, I don't know if you'd call them a flower or what, but they're just some sort of little red spiral. A lot of his candy or whatever in this room is growing off of a plant, and that's why I'm calling it a flower. But it to me looks like a red licorice or a red Twizzler candy type thing, and it's just spinning around in like a spiral shape. But to me, it looks like red licorice. That's basically all I'm going to do for that flower, and I think that looks pretty much like it. I'm going to paint it red because I've already got 4 of them done, and I've got them spray painted red, and they're hanging in here drying. But I may actually go over this with like a red glossy fingernail polish before I hang them up on the stem. I'm just going to use a green wire for the stem part, but right here, that's pretty much how it's going to be. Anyway, I'm going to spray paint this one and then just hang them on a wire, kind of like this, coming up out of the little ground here. And then I'm going to get these painted, and actually these are like yellow with orange polka dots, but anyway, I'll get those painted, and then we'll check out all these little things at the end of the video. But now I'm going to move over to the Oompa Loompa area, and what I want to do there is, let me bump up the camera a little bit here. All right, so back here is supposed to be this, like we've got our little steps here, and then we got the door, and I am going to put some more greenery up in here, and then later I'm going to put something coming out here. But what I'm going to work on right now is this little wheelbarrow, and I've actually got one sitting around here somewhere. All right, so I found it, and it's a little wheelbarrow that I got. I think I got this off the internet. It's just plastic, and all I really need to do, I think, is just spray paint this part blue. I'm going to leave the top lip silver, and the way to do that is I'm hoping that if it actually comes off really easy. I'm hoping if I lay it down like this, and then just spray paint it, it will hit all the parts except for up here if I have it laying flat. So that's how I'm going to spray it. It's just turned upside down. And then I think the inside of the wheel is red, so I'm going to leave the tire black and then just paint the little rim red. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then there's some cute little fun things we'll get to work on over here also. All right, so let's check that out real quick. I got this painted, and like I said, I painted it this way, and it kept it from getting paint up here, which actually it did get a little bit, but it wasn't anything bad. I was able to take some sandpaper and just sand it right off, but that looks way better. And then I painted the handles black, and I taped off this part of the wheel and got that centerpiece sprayed red. So I'm going to try to pop this back together. All right, so there's that, and then the top of it just sticks right back on there like this. And I don't think I'm going to glue it that way if I ever need to take it apart. And again, I'll get better pictures of this, but then this is going to sit right over here in the little Oompa Loompa area. And now let me get a little closer so we can work on a couple more things for that area. And no, wait, actually, let's look back down here a minute. Here's how the mushrooms are looking. I painted those with just like this bright yellow. And then I'm putting some more, like a more golden yellow polka dot on there. And then I'm going to do the orange. And I've used like the worst paintbrush that I could get. This is really stiff, but it's the only thing I've got that's an actual circle. But that's what I've been using just to put some little polka dots on here. Okay, so I had to clear my space so that I could, get this all out and get it going. So what we're going to do now is up here at the little Oompa Loompa cave, we're going to try to make this little thing here where the milk is coming down. And then we're also going to work on these little sugar bags. But to make the sugar bags a little bit more exciting, I'm going to actually make some sugar. And I've got these little bags here. One of them actually says sugar. I'm going to leave it like it is. And then I've got one that says coffee, but I'm going to fix it to where you don't see that side. I'm just going to use the plain side. So I've already started by cutting this string off so that I can open it up. And, well, I think I kind of like the look of it like that, like they've just opened up one corner. And I'm going to have some of the sugar pouring out of this. And let me get my little wheelbarrow real quick. That's pretty cute. If you can see the wheelbarrow, it looks pretty good. I'm really excited about it. But the way I'm going to do the sugar is I'm going to use some Mod Podge mixed with some clear glitter because that looks like sugar. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to actually put some in the wheelbarrow and then have a little bit coming out of this and then just have it laying on the ground. All right, so let's just pour a little. Whoops, it's probably more than I need. This says it's dishwasher safe. I was going to say I don't know what that means, but I guess it means that it is dishwasher safe. Oh man, I just dropped something in there that I didn't want in there. I don't know what that is. Okay. All right. I noticed there's some chunks of stuff in here that I don't really want to get in there, so I gotta watch it. And this glitter, check out that glitter. That is from like, I think the 70s. This came from one of the estate sales that I worked on. That is like some really old glitter. But I think I need a little more, I think I need some more Mod Podge. And that's all I really got to do here. And then I'm just going to scoop it over into the wheelbarrow. I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit in the... This is so cool. I don't know how this will look when it's dry. I guess it'll just pretty much look like that. So hopefully it'll look like that, 'cause to me that looks like sugar. So I'm just going to spoon some in here. And then the rest of it I'll put over here. And then it's kind of late at night. So when I come back to this in the morning, it should be dry and it'll hopefully look really cool. So let me make sure I get all that out. All right, that's good enough. And I don't know why they've got it put in a wheelbarrow. Maybe they measure it out. And all right, so hopefully that'll be dry tomorrow. That's so wet, it'll probably take like a whole week to fully dry. But I just thought that makes it look a lot cooler than just an empty wheelbarrow sitting there. And then this, I will sit beside it. And then this, I'll sit back here behind it like that. And, oh yeah, we're going to do that little milk trough thing. And I'm trying to think of what I'm going to use for that. It looks like it's a round, like a rounded piece. I'm hoping that I've got a piece of like PVC pipe that I can just cut in half and paint it silver. So I'm going to run down to my little tool shed and see what kind of pipe I got. So I got my PVC pipe cut. I just split it down the middle and then cut it as long as I wanted it. And I'm going to stick that right here. And then I'm going to make some milk. And I think I know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to glue this in place before I try to do the milk. And of course, we're only getting like a short piece of that little trough or whatever you call this, where the milk pours out into the chocolate river. We can't really put all of it like it shows in the pictures because we don't have a wall back here. You know, we're just doing little pieces of what we see. We're not doing the entire room or whatever. So we're not going to have all that going on up here. So let me do this, and then there's some other little things right here I want to do. All right, so to make the milk, I've just mixed up some white paint with some glossy Mod Podge. And of course, I do the Mod Podge because that will keep it, you know, it'll just make it look more wet even when it's dry. And then I'm just making sure I get it mixed up really, really good. All right, now before I destroy my chocolate river, I'm going to put this down here just so it don't pour out and get, you know, on the river, because I don't actually want it getting down in there. And then I'm just going to pour this is like this dumb. Getting it out with a stick is not the easiest. Like, I'm going to make it look like it's really running out. Just like that. Alright, it's okay. It'll probably settle as it dries. I'm going to let that dry now. And I've added these little sticks that I got out of my tree because I just wanted to add some height. And I noticed there was some trees in the set. So I went ahead and also glued this little sugar bag over here. And the other one, I think I'm going to glue more towards the inside back here. So there'll be something back there to look at, kind of. And I actually kind of like it right where I just stuck it because you can kind of see it from both sides. But I'll just do that somehow in the back. But I got to glue it to where you don't see that it says coffee. So we'll just stick him back in there. And then here's the little wheelbarrow. And I kind of thought about gluing that down, but I don't think I want to glue it down. Now, I wanted to add something up here because I feel like it's just too boxy and square. So I went outside and I got some rocks. And I think they're going to look really good and just add some more, you know, detail up here. And I love how well I painted this because it's truly the color of the real rocks that I'm trying to blend in. And then I also noticed in the pictures there is like a mushroom up there above the door, kind of up in this area. And then I'm gonna, here's a couple more rocks. I'll just place all these here in a minute and glue them. And I noticed there's some little ivy. So I'm gonna try to get these little vines going around there. And then I've got these little plastic pink flowers. And I wished I had more of these. I really like them. I'd like to put some over in the waterfall area, but I'm going to stick some of these coming down in places. And then the last thing I'm going to do over here is I've got this little fern, and I'm going to cut some little snips off of that and stick them up in here coming out of these rocks, because I just thought this was too plain and it definitely needed some, some decorative, more detail going on up here. So I'm going to do all that and then we'll check it out. I don't know if we're going to actually get to that candy cane tree today because I just don't have the stuff now to do that. But we'll just see where it goes. Now I'm going to put the final touches on it for the day. I actually did have enough of the pink flowers to put a few over here. And then I was wanting like this yellow flower, and I just went and found this. These are some that I had, and these actually look very similar to what's actually in the movie, and these are going to look amazing. I forgot I had these. Like, I didn't even know they were there until I just went to look to see what I had, and then I thought, wow, that looks exactly like the flowers that are in the movie. So I'm going to glue these around, and then also this same stem had this other yellow stuff on it, and this looks really similar to something else that's in the movie. So I'm going to take some of that and actually stick it in here where I've done my little tree. And I mean, I'll show these side by side pictures at the end, but that actually looks like something that is in the movie also. So that's kind of where that's going to go. So let me get all this done and we'll check out what we've done today and talk about it a little bit more. All right, so now I've come to what I want to make the end of the video. I have decided to just wait on the candy cane tree. I feel like this video is going to be long enough. So I will hopefully get the stuff together to make the candy cane tree before the next video. Now, the candy canes did melt together a little bit, and they're not as smooth. Like you can see, kind of tell how the plastic was eaten up a little bit, and they were stuck together, and I had to pull them apart, and it just really messed them up. I mean, I could probably sand them down and make them work for something, but I did notice in the pictures that the candy canes are clear. So I'm going to probably get some sort of little clear hose and bend it. But anyway, without saying too much about it, we'll do that in the next video. But, all right. Oh, and one more thing I want to show before I talk about this. I mentioned that my niece had hidden all these little tiny babies around the house, and I've been having to find them. Well, this is some putty, or like some slime that's like a chocolate scented slime that I had bought. And I was getting this out the other day, and she had stuck one of those little babies in my slime, and I got so cracked up when I opened it and found that little baby. So I thought that was so funny, and I just had to show that. So now we can just sort of see all the little things that I've done, and I'm hoping I'm not sitting too close to my camera, because I noticed that I'm so close to my camera that you can like hear all my, like when I breathe and everything, it's like, and I hate that. I mean, it's like, step back away from it, Billy. But anyways, here's these cute little Twizzler things, these little licorice things, or at least that's what I am calling them. Those look super cute. And then the mushrooms look amazing. I really love the mushrooms. Now, I had this one painted the same as this one over here, but I realized it should have had green polka dots, so I had to completely sand it and repaint it. I could have just went over the polka dots, but it was just, I just ended up sanding it completely. Back here's the little milk. I've been calling that milk. That's probably supposed to be cream because it's like cream and sugar for the chocolate. And then I've added some more flowers up in this area and some greenery because I was looking. The more I look at the pictures and through these magazines that I've got, I'm noticing so much detail. And I've just really been adding a lot more plants and stuff. And then I think this little plant back here with the pink flowers looks really cute. Um, so now I'm going to flip it around and then we'll check out what I've done in the back. All right, so back here, I haven't done a whole lot, but mostly what I did is I put a few more greenery pieces back in this area. And of course, I added this stuff. And oh, yeah, and then I've got these little gumdrops that are vintage. I think these are from the 70s. And I've been meaning to say, I've been using a lot of stuff from the 70s, like these, some of this plant stuff, the mushrooms. I love using vintage pieces in stuff that I make, so that's just kind of a cool little thing. But he don't really have gumdrops in his chocolate factory, but I still stuck a couple of these around because I just like the looks of them. And even though it don't show any in the movie, I just thought it was a cute little touch to it. Now I'm gonna try to scoot this over a little bit. Here's that little sugar bag that I put in the back. And oh yeah, I don't know how well it shows, but I made these tiny, tiny little Wonka bars. The lighting is, I kind of got a backlighting going on. But I made these tiny Wonka bars in another video, and I've actually been hiding those around in places. Like there's one sitting up here, and then there's going to be at least 7 that I'm going to hide all through this little project. And there was a golden egg somewhere. Let me find my egg. All right, so here I made this. Now, this wasn't actually in this room. You know, they went to a completely different part of the chocolate factory to see the golden eggs. But I'm going to stick this in here somewhere. And I've also found a way to use the lickable wallpaper in this project, even though it wasn't in this room. But I'm trying to take little elements from different parts of the movie and sneak them in here, you know, in different ways so that, you know, it kind of represents the whole movie or the whole chocolate factory. But that's something else that I'm going to do in the next video when I'm working on the candy cane tree. I'm going to include some of the other parts from the movie in this project. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.